Sleepy boy.
Hello, hi, welcome back to the start of another weekly vlog. I am really excited to do this one with you guys. Also, this is kind of becoming like my favorite check-in area because it's so comfortable and cozy. You know, just like the little bedroom setup, and my husband is probably like, please stop showing our bedroom to the internet and the public, but this is, you know, this is where like I feel comfortable here. This is I like a cozy vibe when I'm talking and checking, and I you know, it doesn't always have to be so formal all the time. But I wanted to do a weekly vlog of what I'm reading this week because I'm really excited for the books that I am going to be reading. Well, like weekend. It's Friday right now, currently. So I'm hoping to get through most of this during the weekend. I don't know if I will, so this might trickle into next week. But without further ado, what are we reading for this weekly vlog? We are starting with this beautiful arc that I got. So a couple of vlogs ago, I think I had mentioned that I would like to start reading some more arcs this year, not only just for myself, because I do kind of like stumbling into things that I've never heard of before, or maybe some arcs from other booktubers that they've suggested to kind of just get my hands on something and see if it's something that I'm interested in. And also, I think that arcs make for good vlogs because this is kind of putting things out there into the ether, into like the book world, before they even happen, and kind of just like get things on people's radars. It helps authors, it helps the, you know, the book community as a whole. So I am here for the arc situation. And actually, speaking of arcs, so my friend Michelle on Bookstagram, hey Michelle, shout out. She reads arcs all the time. She, like, that girl has done it. She's put in the work. Like, she is out there doing the groundwork, and she's getting some fabulous arcs at this point in time. But she is such a good book reviewer. Like, she has these very unbiased, very thorough reviews of arcs. I'm gonna link her Bookstagram so you can go and follow. I'll put it somewhere so you can go and follow her and check out her arc reviews, because she has done all the things that I should have done up until this point in time that I'm trying to do now, which is have a really good NetGalley profile and kind of get out there and, you know, see some things that are not necessarily out to the public just yet, to try to kind of spur some interest for the entire book community. But again, she does great reviews. Like, you always know you're going to get an honest review from her. So that's why I love her arc reviews so much, because I'm like, should I try to get that one? Should I put it on my TBR? Should I have that on my radar? I trust her, and you guys should too. I got an arc of a book called Water Moon. So this is on the Kindle, so hopefully that shows up. And this is absolutely right up my alley, and already I can tell. So I did start it last night. Gotta be real with you. You know I can't help myself. Started it last night, and it was immediately one of those books, like, you just know sometimes when you start, whether it's the first sentence, the first paragraph, the first chapter, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna land for me. And I am so excited about this one. I'm just gonna read the synopsis for you on Goodreads because I don't want to butcher it, so that you can also maybe determine whether or not this sounds like something you would be interested in. So this is, again, Water Moon by Samantha Sotto Yambao. A woman inherits a pawn shop where you can sell your regrets, and then embarks on a magical journey when a charming young physicist wanders into the shop in this dreamlike and enchanting fantasy novel. On a back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop, but not everyone can find it. Most will see a cozy ramen restaurant, and only the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. Hana Ishikawa wakes on her first morning as the pawn shop's new owner to find it ransacked, the shop's most precious acquisition stolen, and her father missing. And then into the shop stumbles a charming stranger, quite unlike its other customers, for he offers help instead of seeking it. Together they must journey through a mystical world to find Hana's father and the stolen choice by way of rain puddles, rides on paper cranes, the bridge between midnight and morning, and a night market in the clouds. But as they get closer to the truth, Hana must reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice that she will never be able to take back. mean? Okay, first of all, if you've been here for a minute, you know that I've had like this really big craving. Like I started reading more Korean based literature, translated fictions from Japanese. So I have this taste in my mouth for these themes. And I don't know what it is that has sparked that in me recently, but I have enjoyed it so thoroughly that when I saw this arc and read the synopsis of it, I was like, this gives me everything that I want, everything that I want. And can confirm from reading the very first chapter last night that this is going to be such a brilliant story that I was like, I'm turning the camera on tomorrow and I'm vlogging this because I want the people to know. I want the people to know about this book. I think it's important. And I want you to kind of be on the journey along with me. So all I really knew was just what I read from the synopsis and then from what I read last night. And it was, again, I don't know, just, it flowed so well. So right out of the gate, it was a perfect preview of what this story was going to be like. And I think it was the whole idea of this pawn shop. And the more I read some like cozier fantasies, I guess you could say, I really found myself enjoying settings more. So where I like plots and I like characters, right? I think I've really had my eyes open to like magical places, magical stores, magical restaurants, magical bookshops, magical coffee shops. So people are out and about in Tokyo and they see this ramen shop and they get in line to wait at the shop. And when they go through the door, all of a sudden they are in the pawn shop as opposed to the ramen shop. But this only happens because they were like meant to be there. Like they were supposed to find this pawn shop. So you don't see the pawn shop just walking down the street. It's a ramen shop. Isn't that amazing? So the magic is already like you are meant to be here. There's something that you are willing to trade. And that's how you got here. I love this. I love that the pawn shop itself is part of the story, is part of the magic. I'm going to ride these vibes. I am in my ARC era and I get to do it with you guys. Or you get to do it with me. Both. We're doing it together. I'm so excited. So with that being said, I will check in with you as soon as I have another update. All right, bye. So there are some really like clever aspects of the story that just kind of keep surprising me. So Hana and Kai are on this mission to try and find what happened to her father, and there are these people or monsters that are called Shiquin that basically everybody in Hana's world work for. They are the ones that come and collect the choices that are from the pawn shop, and they collect all the other items from like all the other vendors of this world, because there are multiple vendors in this world, like different types of tea shops or other kinds of shops where they collect items from people in our world. And the Shiquin are the ones who collect everything by the new moon. So Hana and Kai are currently running from them because they have discovered that Kai is in this world, and they find people by the scent of their secrets. So their secrets are like a perfume. Everybody has their own secrets, so we all have like our own individual scents or perfumes. So now they're running around telling complete strangers like their deepest, darkest secret so that they can spread their scent around. And I'm like, that is such a good idea. That is so brilliant. He says, "You actually want me to go up to complete strangers and tell them my deepest secret?" And then Hana says, both of us will. The more people we tell, the harder it will be for the Shikun to find us. They are tracking us, latching onto our secrets. A secret's perfume is stronger and more distinct than any scent. No two people keep the same secret. So basically, if they spread it around, it will confuse the Shikun and make it harder for them to capture. And I thought that was really clever. I really love this. I love all of the magic in this story. It's so good. Okay, this is so cute. They're going to her grandmother's tea house, and you can only get there at midnight in your dreams, and this is how her grandmother taught her to get there. You turn left when you fall asleep and turn right at the end of your second dream. That's so cute. Oh, hi, good morning, friends. So I wanted to do a quick reading check-in on where I'm at in our book for this vlog. So I really enjoy it so far. So as you saw from the clip this morning, we got to meet our main male character. So what's going on here? What is half of my head in the frame? Sorry, it's my first time. So we got to meet our main male character, whose name is Kai, and he is traveling through Tokyo to get to his new job from the United States. So he is originally, let me backtrack. They never technically say that he was studying in the US, but they said that he traveled across the Pacific when he moved with his father. So I'm just assuming maybe that's wrong of me. But anyways, he has been studying for years somewhere else and is a physicist who is like wicked smart and has taken this job back in Japan, and he is traveling through Tokyo, where he is originally from, to get to this new destination. On the way through, he stops for ramen at this ramen shop and then gets transported into this pawn shop. So obviously there is a reason that he needs to be at this pawn shop and running into our main female character, Hana, who runs the pawn shop. He kind of stumbles upon this accident or this scene that has occurred where Hana wakes up after a night of drinking sake, celebrating her father's retirement and her taking over the pawn shop the next day, and her father is missing. So she has started to find all these little clues around the pawn shop that her father has left for her, and she's trying to put this puzzle piece together, and that's when Kai shows up. He can clearly see that something is wrong, and initially Hana doesn't want him involved in this. She doesn't want to tell him anything about her world or anything about what is going on, because that's not what usually occurs. So this pawn shop is very specifically like a separate world. It's a different world than just the normal world that you and I live in, where everybody is out on the street in Tokyo walking, and Hana and her family are very secluded in her world. Like, they don't go into the real world. And then when their patrons come into their pawn shop, they don't know anything really about this being a different world or how anything works. They just kind of fall into it and end up carrying out these tasks with the owner of the pawn shop. So Kai can very much see that something is amiss, and Hana is very upset, and he was like, what is going on? Let me try to help you. And then they kind of like stumble into this thing together, where now he's realizing this is not just a normal pawn shop. This is not even technically the same world that he comes from. And they're about to ensue on this adventure together to find Hana's father. I will say the plot is moving like at a rapid speed, and I typically like that. So I like a book that moves really quickly, but sometimes you can feel like things move too quickly, even for someone who enjoys that. It suddenly seems like he is just very quick to be part of this whole new world where he doesn't understand anything. And I guess that the author is kind of laying out the fact that he is a physicist, and he's always really spent his time studying this stuff, studying what is time and space, and what is the world, and like all of these very existential things that a physicist might study or spend their entire careers focusing on. And he's kind of found himself in this position where he is questioning everything he's ever known, because he's a very scientific thinker, and now he's like basically in this magical world, and it happens very quickly. Also, you can see that there's going to be a romance developing between the two of them, which of course I am here for, but again, it seems very insta. Like, he is telling her things about her being beautiful, and like she's kind of relaying these like insecurities she has to him. And he's like, but I can look at you all day. I don't know. And it just seems like they just met. So it does seem a little like insta-lovey and very, very quickly paced. However, it's also keeping my attention span, and I've had a hard time putting the book down. The chapters are nice and short, or like normal to short-ish chapters, which I, again, always appreciate. I do sometimes struggle with very long, drawn-out chapters. I just need something to be broken up. I'm just a normal person that sometimes has an attention span that doesn't last as long as I want it to. So having a plot that moves really quickly and shorter chapters is honestly making this book like super, super easy to consume and read. And I will say it is so magical. So you have not just the pawn shop itself, which is, again, something that I'm really drawn to recently. Magical places or houses or coffee shops, things like that. I really enjoy reading about. And the world being totally separate. So you're not just like stepping into this pawn shop and it's magical. Like, it is a separate world. Hana lives in a separate world. She has certain things about her that are magical. Everything about them is magical. So they don't trade items, they trade secrets and regrets from people. And they keep these collected regrets in a vault that a higher power kind of comes and takes from the pawn shop. Like, it's kind of like this cycle, like a hierarchy of the way things work, and there's a very specific way things work, but also everything is just very magical. Like, you have to use this certain set of glasses to be able to see certain things in the vault, and the pond in their garden out back is actually a way to travel to other places in this separate world. So I do really like all of the magic that is involved, and it's just very exciting and something that I truly enjoy. And it seems like it's not just like one magical thing. It's like a lot of things happening. And I think it's really fun and exciting. And I kind of am very curious to see like what else this author has come up with as part of like the magic and world building aspect of the story itself. I also kind of like this is turning into somewhat of like a mystery adventure, and that is, again, something that really kind of holds my attention and is really fun and easy to read about. So far I really, really enjoy it. I think that it is a super interesting magical plot, and I kind of can't wait to see how the mystery unfolds and how these two characters from like two different worlds are going to kind of come together to basically get to their end goal. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. So really excited. We've got our two main characters on this adventure, and I'm going to try to read more this afternoon. I do have to record a little bit and then hopefully do some editing as well. But I am going to try to read as much as I can in between. And I don't know what it is about reading on a Kindle. Sometimes I just end up reading more quickly. It's easy to just like, obviously, like take around the house with me, or like if I'm doing other things, sometimes I can just grab it really quick and read a little bit more. So I tend to read more when I'm reading a book on my Kindle for some reason. So we will chip away as much as we can today, and I will give you guys another update as soon as I have one. Until then, I hope you have a fabulous Saturday, and I will check in with you later. All right, bye. Biggest drug dealer in Bergen County. I am currently living my best life because the Real Housewives of New Jersey is back. And we are here for anything Real Housewives. Right? You're super into this? Okay. So we've met the other main character in our book, Kai, and he is a physicist, and he's very, very smart, and he's going to his mentor talking about this mystery that's going on at the pawn shop, and he's like, no, I'm not talking about this girl at the pawn shop. She's not the thing I'm worried about. It. Like, there's this mystery that happened. His mentor is like, okay, cool, sure. Good luck with your puzzle. And the woman you're pretending very hard not to be intrigued by. So cute. Hello, hi, good morning. I wanted to sit and chat with you guys about our book because I have finished Watermoon. and I wanted to give you my final thoughts and opinions on it. I am down in the studio. I was setting up for my next video. I was getting everything kind of prepped and together, so that's why we are down here in kind of like this more like official looking backdrop. Anyways, I was getting everything prepped. I had everything kind of like down here and together, and I just wanted to turn the camera on and give you guys kind of a final wrap up on my thoughts and feelings on the book itself. And I truly enjoyed it. It was not my absolute favorite, but I did really like the magic behind all of it. So I said in one of the previous check-ins how I really appreciated the way that the author just made everything so magical. And I know that sounds kind of like vague to say, but some of the examples I gave, like you had to use like very specific glasses to be able to like read certain things in the vault that they were using. They traveled through puddles and through dreams and into different worlds in their dreams and on water and like paper boats and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just very, very whimsical, very magical. I really enjoyed it for the plot, which is something I don't usually go for. I mean, I love a plot. Like, I don't always like to just read vibes. Like, I do need some substance to my stories to keep me entertained. But this one was very plot forward. With that being said, I did not connect to the characters as much as I normally like to. And I think that's just the way they were written. The book was very quickly paced, which again, for the plot, I really enjoyed and I really liked that aspect of it. But also with that, I felt like the character development felt kind of fast, almost rushed. Like I was missing something from that development, not just the characters as individuals, but their relationship that they were kind of building with each other along the way too. It felt a little insta lovey, insta connection. And if you like that sort of story, then this is like kind of got it all for you then. I like a little bit more of a slow burn these days and a little bit more time spent developing, especially relationships, but the characters themselves as well. So with that being said, because it wasn't necessarily a connected story for me, I ended up rating it about 3 stars, which is not bad, but not like the best rating, right? That's kind of like my middle ground rating where I'm like, I really enjoyed this, but I definitely found some flaws within it. However, if any of the aspects that I've told you about are up your alley, especially like a plot-driven book or magic systems, I really think that you would enjoy this book. This does not come out until January 2025, I believe. I'll put the exact date somewhere along with the cover of the book again, because I've been reading from my Kindle, obviously, because it's an ARC. So I'll give you like the cover and then the release date one more time before we completely wrap up here together. But I really, really enjoyed it. And again, I like these kind of novels where it's almost a blend of not just magic but mythology. I've been really into those lately, and these very magical places as well. I loved that this story revolved first and foremost around a magical pawn shop, and that the pawn shop itself didn't just have like magical items, it was like what they did there. So they, them trading in secrets and regrets from people, that was a really, really neat concept, and I really liked that in the story. So Water Moon comes out January 2025, I believe. Samantha Sotto Yambao. Never read anything by this author before, but I would really be interested to read more from her. I don't know if this is a debut novel or not. With that being said, if it is, then I would definitely love to kind of get my hands on more of her writing, because I love not only just discovering authors that I enjoy their writing style, but seeing how they transform as authors over time too, how their writing kind of grows through their experience of writing more and more stories. So that'll be interesting to see. But with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and end this vlog here. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this ARC journey. I'm really enjoying doing this, and really just, again, trying to put some groundwork in to get some ARCs from NetGalley, work on my ratio a little bit on there because I've made some questionable choices in the past. My eyes are bigger than my stomach, if you want to say that. Like, I would just try to get ARCs at one point in time and then just not have the bandwidth to finish all of those said ARCs, and I kind of, you know, don't have the best rating on NetGalley, but that's fine. That's past Lori, this is new Lori. We are here turning a new leaf, trying to get back into that ARC world, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And it also gives me another excuse to read on my Kindle. I love physical books. I'm a physical book girl. Always have been, always will be, but I will say I do just enjoy having the Kindle and with my little case. And I got this really cool strapsicle. I think I'll link the Instagram to this company below in the description as well. This is a really cool little thing that I stumbled upon. I know I'm like not onto anything new here. If you've been in the bookstagram world, you've seen these, but I actually really find them super comfortable, more comfortable than using a pop socket, and then it also doesn't destroy anything. It's just very easy to slide on and off of your Kindle. They just kind of have these really grippy corners, so that's really cool. And it comes with two. I'm a one strap girl. I only need the one, but it does come with a cross strap, so if you like to maybe switch hands, or if you just like more support or, you know, extra grip on both sides, it does come with two straps, which I think is a really cool little feature. But anyways, this has been a really fun book to read, very, very enjoyable, a really fun journey to go back on with you guys into the ARC realm. And yeah, I would love to know if you've read any ARCs. Do you like to read ARCs? Is that your thing? Any ARCs that you have read that you think maybe I should try to get my hands on, drop that in a comment below. Let's start a conversation about it. That's what we're here to do. Let's talk about books. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button because it always helps the girl out. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of these vlogs of these ARCs that I am hopefully going to be obtaining, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. As always, it has been an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.